A 6-year-old black girl dragged herself across a crowded diner floor. One leg. 2 crutches too big for her arms. Ribs showing through her shirt. She stopped at the first table. "Please, can I sit here?" The mother pulled her children away like the girl carried plague. Table after table. Rejection after rejection. Until she stood before a Hell's Angel with prison tattoos and scars across his face. "Please, mister." Everyone else said no. What he discovered next would expose a killer hiding in plain sight. Subscribe now and follow this story to the end. Comment your city below, let me see how far this story travels. Tap scrape, tap scrape. Stone heard it before he saw her. He looked up from his burger. A little girl stood in the doorway. Black skin, tangled braids, maybe 6 years old, thin as a wire. Her left leg was gone below the knee. The empty pant leg was pinned up, swaying as she balanced on crutches too big for her small arms. Her eyes swept the room like a trapped animal looking for escape. She wasn't looking for her parents. She was looking for somewhere to sit. Stone watched her take a breath, watched her straighten her spine, watched her push forward on those crutches toward the first booth. A family of 5. Father scrolling his phone, mother cutting up pancakes. 3 kids fighting over syrup. The girl stopped beside them, her voice barely carried across the noise of the diner. "Excuse me. Can I sit with you? Just for a little while." The mother's head snapped up. Her eyes traveled down the girl's body. The dark skin. The tangled braids. The dirty jacket. The missing leg. "Brian," she hissed at her husband. He looked up, his face twisted into something ugly. "Sorry, sweetheart. Family time." "I won't bother you," the girl said quickly. "I promise. I just need to sit down. My leg hurts and I've been walking for—" "I said no." The mother grabbed her children, pulled them closer, like the girl carried disease. "Go find your parents," she said. "This isn't appropriate." The girl's shoulders dropped. Something in her eyes dimmed. "Okay," she whispered. "Thank you anyway." She turned away. Tap scrape, tap scrape. Stone's jaw tightened. Second booth. An elderly couple. Meatloaf and mashed potatoes. The girl stopped beside them. "Please," she said. "Can I sit here just at the edge?" The old man's eyes met hers for half a second. Then he looked down at his plate like it held the secrets of the universe. "Harold," his wife whispered. "Say something." Harold said nothing. "We're waiting for someone, dear," the wife finally managed. They weren't waiting for anyone. Stone could see the check already on their table. "Okay," the girl whispered. "Thank you anyway." Tap scrape, tap scrape. Third booth, 4 women in Sunday dresses, pearl necklaces, Bibles stacked beside their iced teas, fresh from evening service. The girl approached slowly. Her arms were shaking from the effort of the crutches. "Please," she said. Her voice cracked. "I just need somewhere to sit. I've been walking so long and I'm so tired. Please, I'll be good." The women exchanged looks. One of them, hair-sprayed into a helmet, leaned toward the others. "Where are her parents?" she said loudly. "Why is she alone?" This is what happens when people don't take responsibility. Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "Do you need help?" Just judgment. "I'm sorry," the girl whispered. "I'm sorry for bothering you." "Find a shelter," another woman said. "There are places for people like you." People like you. The words hit the girl like a slap. Stone saw her flinch. She turned away. Her crutch caught on a chair leg. She stumbled, nearly went down, caught herself at the last second. Pain flashed across her face. She stood frozen in the middle of the diner, everyone staring, no one helping. Then her eyes found Stone. He saw her take in the leather vest, the Hell's Angels patches, the scars crossing his face, the tattoos covering his arms, the kind of man mothers warned their children about. But those mothers had already turned her away. She made her choice. Tap scrape, tap scrape. She crossed the distance between them. Each step cost her something she couldn't afford. She stopped at his table. "Please, mister," she said. Her voice broke. "Can I sit here? Everyone else said no." Stone pushed out the chair with his boot. "Yeah, sweetheart. Sit down." Relief flooded her face. She moved toward the chair. Her leg gave out. She wobbled. Her crutches clattered to the floor. Stone was out of his seat before they stopped falling. He caught her under the arm, steadied her, lowered her gently into the chair. She weighed nothing, like a bird with broken wings. He picked up the crutches, leaned them against the wall, sat back down. That's when he saw it. Yellow bruises spreading across her cheekbone. Old, maybe a week. And on her upper arm, where her sleeve had ridden up purple marks, circling the pale skin. Fingerprints. Adult-sized fingerprints wrapped around a child's arm. Stone's hands curled into fists under the table. "What's your name?" he asked softly. "Maya." "You hungry Maya?" Her eyes went wide, like the question was a trap. "I don't have any money," she said quickly. "I'm not trying to get anything. I can leave if you want. I don't want to be a bother. I'm sorry. I'm really—" "Maya." Stone's voice was gentle but firm. "I asked if you were hungry, not if you could pay." She stared at him, searching for the catch, the trick. "Yes," she finally whispered. "I'm really hungry." Stone flagged down the waitress, Marie. Gray hair, kind eyes. "Marie! Grilled cheese, fries, hot chocolate, extra whipped cream. Keep them coming." Marie glanced at the girl, at the bruises, at the hollow cheeks. Her expression shifted into something fierce. "Coming right up, honey," she said softly, and disappeared. Stone turned back to Maya. "When's the last time you ate?" She looked down at her hands, thin fingers twisted together. "I don't remember." "Yesterday," she shook her head. "Day before." She shook her head again. Stone felt ice forming in his chest. "Maya, how long?" "4 days," she whispered. "Maybe 5. I lose count sometimes." "Why?" She didn't answer. "Maya, why haven't you eaten in 5 days?" The words came out small, broken. "The refrigerator has a lock on it. So do the cabinets." Stone went very still. "Derek says food costs money. He says I'm too expensive already." Derek, my stepdad. The food arrived. Golden grilled cheese, crispy fries, hot chocolate with a mountain of whipped cream. Maya stared at it like it might vanish. "Go ahead," Stone said. "It's yours." She grabbed the sandwich with both hands, bit into it like she was afraid someone would take it away. Because she was. She ate like a starving animal, shoving bites in too fast to chew, eyes darting up every few seconds to make sure Stone was still there. He'd seen this kind of hunger before. In Afghanistan. In the faces of children who'd lost everything. He never thought he'd see it in a diner in Colorado. "Slow down," he said gently. "Nobody's taking it away. There's more coming." She slowed. Barely. "Maya," Stone said. "Those bruises on your face. On your arm. Did Derek do that?" She flinched. I fell, she said automatically. I fall a lot because of my leg. The crutches are hard, and… Maya. She stopped. Those marks on your arm are fingerprints. Someone grabbed you. Hard. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Please don't make me go back, she whispered. Please. I'll be good. I'll be so good I won't eat much. I'll sleep outside. Just please don't make me go back there. Please. Stone's chest cracked open. Hey, look at me. She raised her eyes, terror in every line of her face. Nobody's making you go anywhere. You hear me? You're safe here. Right here. Right now. You're safe. You don't understand, she sobbed. He'll find me. He always finds me, and when he does, then he'll go through me first. And trust me, Maya, he doesn't want to do that. She stared at him through her tears. Why are you helping me? You don't even know me. Because you needed help. And I was here. That's reason enough. But everyone else made the wrong choice. That's on them, not on you. He reached across the table, took her small hand in his. Her fingers were ice cold, trembling, so fragile he could have crushed them without trying. He held them like they were made of glass. What happened to your leg, Maya? She went very still. There was an accident. What kind of accident? Derek was backing up his truck in the driveway. I was playing behind it. He didn't see me. Her voice had gone flat, mechanical, rehearsed. That's what he told everyone. He didn't see me. The doctors took your leg. At the hospital. I was there for a long time. Derek came every day, brought flowers, held my hand, cried. She swallowed hard. All the nurses said how wonderful he was. What a devoted stepfather, how lucky I was. But when I came home, everything changed. Changed how he moved me to a room in the back of the house. It's not really a room. It used to be for storage. There's a window, but he painted it black so no light comes in. Stone's grip on her hand tightened. There's a lock on the door, she continued. On the outside, he locks me in at night, sometimes during the day too. The refrigerator, the cabinet's all locked. He decides when I eat. He says I don't deserve food because I'm bad. He says I make too much noise with my crutches. He says I breathe too loud. Maya. He hits me when I make mistakes, when I drop something or take too long. He says my mama spoiled me. He says I'm just a burden. Her voice dropped to almost nothing. He says the world would be better off without me. The words poured out of her now. A dam breaking. He says I'm worth more dead than alive, she whispered. I heard him on the phone. He was laughing. He said he took out a policy, $300,000. He said another accident and nobody would question it. Just a crippled black orphan who couldn't get out of the way fast enough. Stone stopped breathing. Say that again. He wants to kill me. For the insurance money. He's just waiting for the right time. I heard him say it. I wasn't supposed to hear, but I did. And now he knows I know. And that's why I ran. That's why I'm here. Her voice shattered. Because if I go back, he's going to kill me. And nobody will care. Because nobody cares about crippled black orphans. Stone stared at this broken 6-year-old girl. Tangled braids. Missing leg. Bruises that told stories no child should ever have to tell. And something shifted inside him. Something old and hard that he'd kept locked away for years. It wasn't rage. Rage was hot and stupid and made men do things they regretted. This was colder, cleaner, more focused. This was purpose. Maya, he said quietly, I need you to listen to me very carefully." She looked up at him, tears still streaming. "You're not going back to that house. Not tonight, not ever. Do you understand? But how? I have friends, a lot of them, and when I call them, they come. No questions asked." "What kind of friends?" Stone glanced at his vest, at the patches that marked him as something most people feared. "The kind that don't let monsters hurt children," he said. "The kind that make monsters disappear." Maya's eyes went wide. "Are you going to hurt him?" "I'm going to make sure he never hurts you again, whatever that takes." "But he's an adult. He has a job. Everyone believes him. The police came once and they believed him, and they left, and then he—" She couldn't finish. "The police aren't my friends. My friends don't need warrants. My friends don't need evidence. My friends just need a name, an address, and a reason." He pulled out his phone. "You gave me the reason, Maya. Now give me the address." She hesitated. "He'll know I told. He won't do anything. Ever again. I promise you." She stared at him for a long moment. 412 Maple Street, she whispered. Stone typed out a message to Brick. "Broken wagon. Now. Bring everyone. Child abuse case. Stepfather planning to kill her for insurance. 12 Maple Street. Name is Derek. This is not a drill." He hit send. "What happens now?" Maya asked. "Now you eat your fries. They're getting cold." "That's it. That's it. You eat. You rest. You let the grown-ups handle the rest." "But, Maya, you've been carrying this alone for 8 months. You ran away on one leg in the middle of winter to escape a man who wants to kill you. You've done enough. More than enough. It's time to let someone else carry the weight for a while." Her lower lip trembled. "I don't know how to do that." "I know. But you're going to learn. Starting right now." Marie appeared with another grilled cheese and more hot chocolate. "Figured she could use seconds," she said, setting them down. "Kitchen's making her some soup, too. On the house." "Thanks, Marie." Marie looked at Stone, then at Maya, then back at Stone. "You need anything else, you holler. And I mean anything." "I will." She disappeared again. Maya picked up a fry, but she didn't eat it. She just held it. "Stone, yeah. What if your friends can't stop him? What if he gets away with it? What if nobody believes me again? My friends don't let people get away with things, and I believe you. That's enough." "How do you know? How do you know it's enough?" Stone leaned back in his chair. "Because I've been where you are, Maya. Not the same situation, but the same feeling. That feeling like the whole world is against you and nobody's coming to help, and you're so tired of fighting alone that you almost want to give up." Her eyes locked on his. "What happened?" "Someone showed up when I least expected it, when I'd stopped believing anyone would, and they didn't ask what I could give them. They just helped, because I needed it, and they could. The men you're about to meet, my brothers, not by blood, by choice. That's the strongest kind." Maya looked down at the table. "I don't have brothers," she said quietly. "I don't have anyone." "You have me." She looked up sharply. "You just met me." "Doesn't matter." "How can it not matter? You don't know anything about me." "I know you're brave. I know you're strong. I know you've survived things that would break most adults. And I know you deserve better than what you've gotten." "Derek says I don't deserve anything." "Derek is a monster wearing a man's face. His opinion doesn't count." "But, no buts. You're 6 years old, Maya. 6. You should be worried about homework and cartoons, and whether your best friend is going to sit with you at lunch. Not whether your stepdad is going to murder you for insurance money." Her face crumpled. "I don't have a best friend. I don't go to school anymore. Derek pulled me out. He said it was too expensive. He said I couldn't learn anything anyway. He said, I don't care what he said. I care about what's true. And the truth is, you're smart enough to escape from a locked room and make it across town on one leg and find the one person in a crowded diner who would actually help you. That's not stupid, Maya. That's survival. I didn't find you. You were the only one left. Same thing. It's not. It is. Because you didn't give up. You kept going, table after table, rejection after rejection. You kept going until you found someone who said yes. That's strength, Maya. Real strength. The kind that matters. She was crying again, but differently now. Not fear. Something else. Nobody's ever said anything like that to me before. Then everybody else was wrong. The bell above the door chimed. Stone looked up. Brick walked in. 52 years old. Gray beard. Eyes like chips of ice. President's patch on his vest. Behind him came Tank Diesel Razor Jack's Tommy. 6 men built like they'd been carved from granite. Faces that had seen the wrong end of too many fights. Hands that had done things polite, society pretended didn't happen. They spread out through the diner without a word. Taking positions. Blocking exits. Making the space theirs. The other customers went very quiet, the family of 5. The elderly couple. The church women. All of them shrinking back. Suddenly afraid of the men they'd always been taught to fear. Brick walked straight to Stone's table. His eyes went to Maya, to the bruises on her face, to the missing leg, to the tears still wet on her cheeks. His jaw tightened. This her? Yeah. Brick crouched down to Maya's level. His voice, when he spoke, was surprisingly gentle. Hey there, little one. My name's Brick. I'm a friend of Stone's. He tells me you've been having a hard time. Maya looked at Stone. He nodded. Yes, sir, she whispered. None of that sir stuff. Just Brick. He smiled. It transformed his whole face. You like grilled cheese? Yes. Me too. Best thing on the menu here. Stone treat you right. He's the only one who would let me sit down. Brick's eyes went cold for just a second. Is that so? He stood up, looked around the diner, at the family, the elderly couple, the church women. Lot of good Christians in here tonight. Lot of fine, upstanding citizens. Nobody met his gaze. Funny how that works, Brick continued. Funny how the people who talk the most about charity and kindness are usually the first to turn away a child in need. The woman with the helmet hair stood up. Now see here. Sit down. She sat. Brick turned back to Stone. Tell me everything. Stone told him. The starvation, the locked room, the bruises, the accident that took her leg, the insurance policy, the overheard phone call. With each detail, Brick's expression grew darker. When Stone finished, the diner was dead silent. 412 Maple Street, Brick said. Yeah. Brick pulled out his phone, made a call. It's me. I need everything you can find on a derrick at 412 Maple Street. Millbrook, yeah, everything. Employment finances, insurance policies, the works. Call me back in 20. He hung up. We're not waiting 20 minutes to move on this, Stone said. No, we're not. Brick looked at the other brothers. Tank Diesel, you're on the house. Don't go in. Just watch. Nobody leaves. Nobody enters until we know more. Razor Jacks canvass the neighborhood. Quiet. I want to know if anyone else knows anything about this guy. The men nodded and headed for the door. What about me? Tommy asked. You stay here. Watch the girl. Anyone comes through that door that isn't one of us, you call me immediately. Got it. Brick crouched down to Maya's level again. Maya, I know this is scary. Lot of big strangers showing up all at once. But I need you to trust us. Can you do that? She looked at Stone. He trusts you, she said quietly. So I trust you. Brick smiled. Smart girl. He stood, caught Stone's eye. Stone. A word. They stepped away from the table. Not far. Just enough for privacy. This is bad, Brick said, his voice low. I know. If what she's saying is true, it's true. Look at her, Brick. Look at those bruises. Look at how she eats. That kid hasn't been fed properly in months. I believe you. That's not what I mean. Brick's eyes were hard. If there's an insurance policy and a plan to kill her, this isn't just abuse. This is premeditated murder. We can't handle this the usual way. Why not? Because if we touch this guy, and he ends up dead or disappeared, the first place cops look is the kid's known associates, which as of tonight is us. So we let him live. I didn't say that. Brick's smile had no warmth in it. I said we can't handle it the usual way. We need documentation, witnesses, a paper trail, something that makes sure when this piece of garbage goes down, he stays down. Legal. Since when do we care about legal? Since that little girl needs someone to take care of her after this is over. And that someone isn't going to be allowed anywhere near her if he's sitting in prison for murder. Stone went still. What are you saying? I'm saying she needs more than revenge, Stone. She needs a home. She needs stability. She needs someone who's going to be there for her tomorrow and next week and next year. Is that you? Stone looked back at the table. At Maya. Small and broken. Clutching her hot chocolate like a lifeline. Yeah, he said quietly. That's me. Then we do this right. We do it clean. We make sure that monster never sees daylight again. And we make sure you're still standing when it's over to pick up the pieces. Stone nodded slowly. Okay. What do you need? Time, information, and that little girl's trust. Brick glanced at Maya. She talked to you. She opened up. That's rare. Usually takes months to get an abused kid to share details like that. She's desperate. She's more than desperate. She saw something in you, Stone. Something that made her feel safe enough to tell the truth. Don't waste that. I won't. Brick's phone buzzed. He answered. Listened. His expression growing darker with every second. You're sure? No, that's good. That's exactly what we need. Send it to me. Everything. He hung up. Well? Derek Manning, 38 years old, works as a claims adjuster for Western Life Insurance. Claims adjuster. Guess what kind of claims he processes? Life insurance. Give the man a prize. He knows exactly how the system works, what gets paid out, what doesn't, how to make an accident look like an accident. Stone's blood went cold. The truck. When he ran over Maya, he knew what he was doing, Stone. He knew exactly how to run over that kid and make it look like an accident. He planned it from the beginning. How long has he had her? My guy pulled the marriage records. Derek married Maya's mother 14 months ago. 6 months later, she dies of cancer. 2 months after that, he takes out a $300,000 policy on the kid. That's not suspicious at all. It gets better. He's behind on payments for the house. Credit cards maxed. 3 months behind on his truck. Gambling problem that's gotten worse since the wife died. He needs money. He's drowning. And that little girl over there is his life raft. Stone's hands curled into fists. We end this tonight. We end this tonight, Brick agreed. But we end it right. I want that paperwork. I want those neighbors. I want every piece of evidence we can find that proves what he's been doing to her. And then, Brick's eyes went flat. And then we make a phone call to some friends in the DA's office, and Derek Manning spends the rest of his miserable life in a cell. That's not enough. It will be. Trust me. You know what happens to child killers in prison. Stone did know. He nodded slowly. Okay, let's do it. They walked back to the table. Maya looked up at them, fear and hope battling in her eyes. What happens now? She asked. Stone sat down across from her. Now we make sure Derek never hurts anyone again. How? You let us worry about that. All you have to do is stay here, stay safe, eat your food. I'm not hungry anymore. Then drink your hot chocolate. It's getting cold. She picked up the mug with trembling hands. Stone, yeah. Is it really going to be okay? He reached across the table, took her hand again. Yeah, Maya, it's really going to be okay. Promise. Promise. 20 minutes later, Brick's phone buzzed again. He read the message, then looked at Stone. Tank and Diesel are at the house. Derek's truck is in the driveway. He hasn't left. Does he know she's gone? Front door is wide open. He knows. Stone looked at Maya. Did you leave the door open when you ran? She shook her head. It was closed. I made sure. I didn't want him to know right away. Then he's been out looking, and he came back. Or he's waiting, Brick said grimly. Waiting for her to come home. She's not going home. No, she's not. Brick checked his phone again. Razor and Jax are 3 houses down. They've already got 2 neighbors willing to talk. One of them called CPS twice. Nothing happened. That's going in the report. Everything's going in the report. Stone looked down at Maya. She was shaking. Hey, look at me. She looked up. You're safe. You hear me? He can't touch you. Not here. Not with us. He's going to be so angry, she whispered. When he finds out I told, he's going to be so angry. He said if I ever told anyone, what did he say? Her face went pale. He said he'd make it look like an accident, like with my leg. He said nobody would question it. Just a clumsy, crippled black girl who fell down the stairs or drowned in the bathtub or, Maya, stop. She stopped. None of that is going to happen. You're never going back to that house. You're never going to be alone with him again. Whatever he said, whatever he threatened, it doesn't matter anymore. He's done. How do you know? Because I'm going to make sure of it. Me and every single one of my brothers. She looked around the diner, at the men in leather vests positioned at every exit, at Brick standing like a wall between her and the door. Why? She asked. Why do you care? You don't even know me. None of you know me. Stone leaned forward. Remember what I said about someone showing up for me when I'd given up? Yeah. These are those people, Maya. Every one of them. And the reason they're here right now isn't because I asked. It's because I told them a little girl needed help. That's all it took. One message, and they dropped everything. But why? Because that's who they are. That's who we are. We take care of our own. But I'm not your own. I'm nobody. Stone's grip on her hand tightened. You're not nobody, Maya. You stopped being nobody the second you sat down at my table. Her eyes filled with tears again. I don't understand. You will. One day you will. Hey, you. The door opened. Cold air swept in. A man walked through. Not one of the brothers. Someone else. Tall. Thin. Gray coat. Smile that didn't reach his eyes. He looked around the diner. His gaze landed on Maya, and his smile widened. There you are, he said. I've been looking everywhere for you. Maya's hand went rigid in Stone's grip. That's him, she whispered. That's Derek. Stone didn't move. His hand stayed wrapped around Maya's. His eyes locked on Derek. The man walked toward them like he owned the room, like he hadn't spent 8 months torturing a child, like he hadn't planned to murder her for money. "There you are, sweetheart," Derek said. His voice was honey smooth. "I've been worried sick. Let's go home." Maya pressed herself against Stone's side, her whole body trembling. Brick stepped forward, blocked Derek's path. "Can I help you?" Derek's smile flickered. Just for a second. Then it was back. "You can get out of my way. I'm here to pick up my daughter." "Stepdaughter," Stone said from the booth. His voice was ice. Derek's eyes shifted to him. "Excuse me, she's not your daughter. She's your stepdaughter. Get it right." Derek's smile thinned. "I don't know who you are, but this is a family matter. Maya, come here. We're going home." Maya didn't move. Her fingers dug into Stone's arm. "Maya!" Derek's voice hardened. "Now." "She's not going anywhere," Stone said. "I don't recall asking your opinion." Derek took a step forward. Brick didn't budge. "Look," Derek said, spreading his hands. "I don't want any trouble. My stepdaughter ran off. She's been having some behavioral issues. I just want to take her home." "What kind of behavioral issues?" Derek blinked. "What? You said she's having behavioral issues. What kind? That's really none of your business." "I'm making it my business." Derek's pleasant mask flickered. Something ugly showed through. "Listen here, you piece of biker trash." "Careful," Brick said softly. "Choose your next words very carefully." Derek looked around the diner, at the leather vests, at the faces that had seen violence and weren't afraid of more. His confidence wavered. "I don't know what she told you," he said. "But whatever it is, it's not true. She lies. She makes up stories. She's been doing it since her mother died. It's a cry for attention." "So the bruises are made up?" Stone asked. "What bruises? The ones on her face, on her arm?" "She falls. The crutches are difficult for her. She's still adjusting. She falls in a pattern that leaves adult-sized fingerprints on her arm." Derek went pale. She grabbed herself. She does that sometimes, when she has tantrums. And the lock on her bedroom door. How do you... Derek caught himself. "That's for her safety. She wanders at night. I have to... And the padlocks on the refrigerator and cabinets." Derek's mask cracked completely. "Who told you that?" His voice went sharp. "Maya, what did you tell them?" "She told me the truth," Stone said. "All of it, including the phone call." "What phone call? The one where you explained how you were going to kill her for the insurance money?" The diner went dead silent. Derek's face twisted. "That's insane. That's absolutely insane. I would never... $300,000, Stone continued. "That's the policy. My people already confirmed it. Taken out 2 months after your wife died." "This is ridiculous. You're behind on the house, behind on the truck. Credit cards maxed. Gambling debts piling up. That little girl is worth more to you dead than alive." "I want a lawyer." "We're not cops." "Then you have no right to..." "We have every right." Stone stood up. 6'2", 220 pounds of muscle and anger. "We have the right to protect a child you've been starving and beating for 8 months. We have the right to make sure you never touch her again. We have the right to stand between a monster and his victim." He stepped around the table. Derek backed up. "Stay away from me, or what you'll call the police." "Go ahead. Tell them why you're here. Tell them about the locked room and the padlocked refrigerator and the $300,000 insurance policy on a 6-year-old girl." You can't prove any of this. Watch me. Stone was inches from Derek now, close enough to smell his fear, close enough to feel him trembling. Here's what's going to happen, Stone said quietly. You're going to leave this diner, you're going to go back to your house, and you're going to wait. Wait for what? For the police. The real ones. The ones who are going to show up with warrants and questions and very little patience for men who hurt children. You can't. I'm done talking. Stone grabbed Derek by the collar and shoved him toward the door. Brick stepped aside just enough to let them pass. If I ever see you again, Stone said, his voice low and deadly, I won't call the police. I'll handle it myself. And trust me, Derek, you don't want me to handle it myself. He shoved Derek through the door and into the parking lot. Derek stumbled, caught himself, turned back. This isn't over, he spat. She's mine. Legally, you can't just watch me. Stone stepped back inside. The door closed. Through the window, he watched Derek stand there, rage and fear battling on his face. Then Derek turned and walked to his truck. Engine started. Headlights came on. He drove away. Stone walked back to the booth. Maya was crying. Tommy had a hand on her shoulder. Is he gone? She asked. He's gone. Is he coming back? Stone sat down across from her. Not for you. Not ever. She stared at him with eyes too old for her face. You promise? I promise. People break promises. I don't. She looked at him for a long moment. Then she reached across the table with both arms. Stone leaned forward. She wrapped herself around his neck and held on like he was the only solid thing in a world that had been trying to drown her. Thank you, she whispered into his shoulder. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Stone closed his eyes. His arms came up around her small body. He held her gently, like she was precious, like she mattered, like she was worth protecting. Because she was all of those things, and more. You're safe now, Maya, he said quietly. I've got you. And for the first time in 8 months, she believed it. Brick's phone rang 12 minutes after Derek drove away. Talk to me. He listened. His face went hard. You're sure? How long ago? Don't move. We're coming. He hung up and looked at Stone. We have a problem. What kind? Derek didn't go home. Tank and Diesel watched his truck pull into the driveway, but he never went inside. He sat there for 2 minutes, then backed out and took off. Where? They lost him. He turned onto Route 7, heading east. Stone's jaw tightened. He's running. Maybe. Or maybe he's getting help. What kind of help? The kind you pay for when you're desperate. Brick glanced at Maya. She was still holding on to Stone's hand, her eyes darting between them. We need to move, now. Move where? The house. If he's running, he's going to come back for something first. Money, documents, evidence he needs to destroy. I'm coming with you. No. Brick shook his head. You stay with her. She trusts you. If we take her somewhere else and you're not there, I'm not leaving her. Then bring her. But we need people at that house before he gets back. Stone looked down at Maya. You hear that? She nodded slowly. We're going to go somewhere together. You and me and some of my friends. We're going to make sure Derek can't hurt you anymore. Where are we going? Somewhere safe. Where's safe? Stone didn't have an answer for that. Not yet. Marie appeared at the table with a takeout bag. Packed up the rest of her food, she said. And some extra. She needs it. Thanks, Marie. You get that bastard, she said quietly. Whatever it takes. Stone nodded. He stood up and lifted Maya from her chair. She weighed nothing. Her arms went around his neck automatically, holding on. "My crutches," she said. Tommy grabbed them. "I got them, little one. Don't worry." They moved toward the door, Brick first, then Stone with Maya, then Tommy bringing up the rear. The other customers watched in silence, the family of 5, the elderly couple, the church women. None of them said a word. Stone stopped at the door and turned back. "Every single one of you saw a child begging for help tonight," he said. "And every single one of you turned her away. Remember that. Remember what you chose." He walked out into the cold. The parking lot was full of motorcycles. More had arrived while they were inside. 15, maybe 20. Brothers from 3 counties, all answering the call. Brick pointed to his truck. "She rides with me. You follow." "I want to stay with Stone," Maya said quickly. "It's too cold for the bike, sweetheart," Brick said gently. "The truck has heat, and Stone will be right behind us the whole way. He's not leaving you." She looked at Stone. "Promise, promise, I'll be so close you can see my headlight in the mirror." She hesitated, then nodded. Stone carried her to Brick's truck and settled her in the passenger seat. Tommy handed up the crutches. Stone tucked them beside her. "Seatbelt," he said. She fumbled with it. Her hands were shaking. Stone reached in and buckled it for her. 15 minutes, he said. "That's all. Then I'll be right there." "Okay." He closed the door. Brick was already behind the wheel. He started the engine and looked at Stone through the window. "Razor and Jax are still at the house. They've got 2 neighbors ready to talk on record. One of them has photos." "Photos?" She's been documenting for months. Every time she saw bruises on that kid, she took pictures. Dates times everything. Why didn't she call the police? She did, twice. Nothing happened. Stone's hands curled into fists. "We're going to change that." "Yeah, we are." The truck pulled out. Stone jogged to his bike, threw his leg over, kicked it to life. The convoy moved through town like a rolling storm. Brick's truck in front, Stone right behind, 15 motorcycles spreading out in formation. People on the sidewalks stopped to stare. Let them stare. They'd remember this night for a long time. Maple Street was quiet when they arrived. Small houses, neat lawns, the kind of neighborhood where people minded their own business and pretended not to see what happened behind closed doors. 412 was in the middle of the block. Yellow siding, white shutters, a porch with hanging flower baskets that were dead from the cold. It looked normal. It looked like every other house on the street. That's what made it worse. Razor was waiting on the sidewalk. "He's not back yet," he reported. "But he will be. Left half the lights on. Garage door still open." "What about the neighbors? Mrs. Patterson at 414. She's the one with the photos. And Mr. Reeves at 408. He heard screaming 6 weeks ago, called it in. Nothing happened." Brick nodded. "Get them both. I want their statements before the cops arrive." "Cops. I called Dina. He's bringing someone from the DA's office. This has to be airtight." Stone pulled up beside the truck. Maya was pressed against the window, staring at the yellow house with terror in her eyes. He got off his bike and opened her door. "Hey, look at me." She couldn't. Her eyes were locked on the house. "Maya, look at me." She finally turned. Her face was white. "I can't go back in there," she whispered. Please don't make me go back in there." "You're not going in. I promise. You're staying right here. With me." "But what if he comes back? What if he... Then he'll have to go through 20 of us. And he won't get through 1. She was shaking, her whole body trembling. Stone unbuckled her seatbelt and lifted her out of the truck. She buried her face in his shoulder. "I'm scared," she said, so quiet he barely heard it. "I know, but I've got you. Nothing's going to happen to you." "You keep saying that." "Because I keep meaning it." Brick approached. "We're going in. Need to document everything before he gets back and tries to clean up." "I'm coming." "Stone." "She needs to see it. Needs to know we believe her." Brick hesitated, then nodded. "Stay behind me. Don't touch anything." They walked up the driveway. Maya's grip on Stone's neck tightened with every step. The front door was unlocked. Brick pushed it open. The house was clean. Spotless. Like something from a magazine. Fresh vacuum lines on the carpet. Dishes put away. Not a speck of dust anywhere. "He keeps it perfect," Maya whispered. "In case anyone comes, he says appearances matter." They moved through the living room, through the kitchen. Brick stopped at the refrigerator. A heavy padlock hung from the handle. "Maya," he said quietly, "is this normal? Does he always keep it locked?" "Always, unless he's getting food for himself." Brick took out his phone, snapped a picture. They moved on, through the hallway, past a bathroom, past what looked like a master bedroom. At the end of the hall was a door. It looked different from the others, heavier, the wood was thicker, and on the outside at adult height was a deadbolt. Maya made a sound. Small, wounded. "That's my room," she whispered. Stone's heart cracked. Brick slid the deadbolt back. The sound was obscenely loud in the quiet house. He pushed the door open. The room was barely bigger than a closet, maybe 6 feet by 8. No window. Well, there was a window, but it had been painted black. Not a drop of light came through. A mattress lay on the floor, thin, stained. No sheets, no blanket, no pillow. A cardboard box in the corner held a few pieces of clothing. All of them too small. All of them worn through. That was it. That was everything. A 6-year-old girl had been living in this space for 8 months. Brick's hands shook as he took pictures. "Maya," Stone said, his voice rough. "You slept here every night. He locked me in after dinner, if I got dinner. Sometimes he forgot to let me out in the morning. Sometimes he forgot for a long time." "How long?" "The longest was 3 days. I had to use the corner for bathroom stuff. He was really mad when he found out. He said I was disgusting. He said I was an animal." Stone couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. 20 years on the streets. 20 years of violence and brutality and things that would make normal people lose sleep for months. Nothing had prepared him for this. A closet with a deadbolt, a mattress on the floor, a child locked away like she didn't deserve to exist. "We're done here," Brick said. His voice was barely controlled. "I've got enough." They backed out of the room. Stone couldn't look at it anymore. They were halfway down the hall when headlights swept across the front windows. Everyone froze. "That's his truck," Maya whispered. "That's Derek." Brick moved fast. "Stone, take her out the back. Now." "I'm not running from... This isn't about you, it's about her. If he sees her, if he gets anywhere near her, just go. We'll handle him." Stone hesitated for half a second. Then he moved. He carried Maya through the kitchen, out the back door, into the yard. "Where are we going?" Maya asked. "Somewhere he can't see you." He found a spot behind the garage, out of sight from the house, pressed his back against the wall. "Stay quiet," he whispered. "Can you do that?" She nodded against his shoulder. From inside he heard voices. Brick's, calm and steady. And another voice. Higher. Angrier. Derek. "What the hell are you doing in my house? This is breaking and entering. I'm calling the police." "Go ahead," Brick said. "We already did." "What? The police are on their way, Derek, along with someone from the DA's office and Child Protective Services, and about 6 news crews if I know my brothers." "You can't. You have no right." "We have every right. We have photographs of the padlocked refrigerator, the locked cabinets, the room with the deadbolt on the outside, the mattress on the floor where you've been keeping your stepdaughter like a prisoner. She's difficult. She has behavioral problems. The lock is for her own safety." "Her own safety." Brick's voice went cold. "You locked a 6-year-old amputee in a windowless room for days at a time, for her safety. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. I understand that you took out a $300,000 life insurance policy on that little girl 2 months after her mother died. I understand that you ran over her with your truck and took her leg. I understand that you've been starving her, beating her, and planning to kill her for the payout." Silence. Then Derek's voice, different now, desperate. "Who told you that?" "Did she? She's lying. She lies about everything. She's disturbed. She needs help. I've been trying to get her help, but the system, save it. You don't understand what it's been like. Her mother dying, the medical bills, trying to raise a special needs child alone. You ran over her with your truck. It was an accident. You backed up slowly while she was playing directly behind you. The neighbor at 408 watched it happen from his window. He said you checked your mirror twice before you put it in reverse." Stone felt Maya go rigid in his arms. "That's not he's mistaken. The sun was in his eyes. It was 6 o'clock in the evening in October. The sun was already down." Derek's voice cracked. "You can't prove anything. It's my word against 4 neighbors, against your stepdaughter, against the photographs, against the insurance documents, against your browser history, which my guy already pulled, which includes searches for how long can a child survive without food and untraceable ways to cause death." Maya was crying now, silent tears streaming down her face. Stone held her tighter. "It's over, Derek," Brick said. "You're done. I want a lawyer. You're going to need one." Sirens in the distance, getting closer. Stone heard scuffling inside, a crash, someone shouting. Then Brick's voice, hard as iron. "Don't move. Get off me. This is assault. I'll sue every one of you. You just tried to run from a crime scene in front of 6 witnesses. How do you think that's going to look?" The sirens were loud now. Red and blue lights painted the snow. "Maya," Stone said quietly. "The police are here. They're going to take Derek away. You're safe." She didn't respond. She was trembling so hard he could feel it in his bones. "Maya, look at me." She raised her head. Her eyes were red, swollen, full of terror and something else. Hope. Fragile. Bruised. Barely alive. But there. "Is it really over?" she whispered. "Yeah, kid. It's really over. He's never coming back. Never. I promise." "You promise a lot." "I keep them all." She stared at him for a long moment. Then she buried her face in his shoulder again. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." Stone closed his eyes. His arms tightened around her. He didn't have words for what he was feeling, didn't have names for the emotions crashing through his chest like waves against rocks. All he knew was that he would die before he let anyone hurt this child again. The back door opened. Brick stepped out. "It's done," he said. "They've got him in cuffs. DA's guy is already talking charges, attempted murder, child abuse, insurance fraud, false imprisonment. He's not getting bail." "Good. There's a social worker here. She needs to talk to Maya." Stone felt the girl tense. "It's okay," he said. "She's here to help. She's one of the good ones." "How do you know?" "Because Dina called her personally. He doesn't call people who aren't good." Maya didn't move. "Stone," Brick said gently. "She needs to do this. It's part of making sure Derek never gets near her again." "I know." Stone looked down at the small face pressed against his chest. "Maya, can you talk to the social worker? I'll be right there the whole time. I won't leave." "Promise? Promise." She took a shaky breath. "Okay." They walked around the house to the front yard. Police cars everywhere. An ambulance. A van from Child Protective Services. And 3 news vans with cameras already rolling. Derek was in the back of a police car, his face pressed against the window, watching. When he saw Maya, something changed in his expression. Rage. Pure murderous rage. He started shouting, slamming against the window. The words were muffled, but the hatred was clear. Maya whimpered and pressed closer to Stone. "Don't look at him," Stone said. "Look at me. He can't touch you. He can't hurt you. He's done." "He's so angry." "Good. Let him be angry. Let him be angry in a prison cell for the rest of his life." A woman approached. Mid-40s, kind face, clipboard in her hands. "I'm Patricia Henley," she said. "I'm with Child Protective Services. You must be Maya." Maya didn't respond. "She's had a rough night," Stone said. "I can imagine." Patricia's eyes swept over Maya's thin frame, the bruises, the missing leg. Her expression tightened. "Actually, I can't imagine. But I'm going to do everything I can to help. What do you need? Just some questions. Nothing scary. Just so we can figure out what happens next." "What does happen next?" Patricia hesitated. "Normally we'd place her in emergency foster care while we..." "No." The word came out harder than Stone intended. Patricia blinked. "I'm sorry. She's not going to foster care. She's staying with me." "Sir, I appreciate what you've done tonight, but there are procedures. Background checks, home studies, licensing requirements. Then start them. Tonight, right now. Do whatever you need to do. But she's not going anywhere with strangers." "Sir, my name is Stone McKenna. I've got a record, yeah, but nothing violent in the last 10 years. I own my house outright. I've got steady work. And I'm not letting this kid out of my sight." Patricia studied him for a long moment. Then she looked at Maya. "Sweetie, can you tell me what you want?" Maya's grip on Stone's neck tightened. "I want to stay with him," she whispered. "Please. He's the only one who helped me. Everyone else said no. He said yes." Patricia's eyes softened. "Okay," she said quietly. "Okay. We'll figure it out." Really, I can't promise anything yet, but I can tell you that what that little girl wants matters. And if you're willing to go through the process, I'm willing. Then we'll make it work." She looked at Maya again. "For tonight, at least you can stay together. I'll push through an emergency placement. It's not standard procedure, but..." She glanced back at the house, at the police cars, at Derek screaming in the back seat. "Nothing about this is standard." "Thank you," Stone said. "Don't thank me yet. There's a lot of work ahead. Interviews, assessments, court dates. It's not going to be easy." "I don't care about easy. I care about her." Patricia nodded slowly. "I can see that." She made a note on her clipboard. "I'll be in touch tomorrow. For now, get her somewhere warm. Get her fed. Let her sleep." "I will." Patricia walked away. Brick appeared at Stone's shoulder. "That went better than expected. She's a good one. Dina knows how to pick them." Brick looked at Maya. "Hey, little one, you did good tonight. Real good." She didn't respond. Her eyes were starting to close. She's exhausted, Stone said. Take her home. We'll handle the rest. What about the house? The evidence. Police have it. DA has it. It's airtight, Stone. He's not getting out of this. Good. Stone carried Maya to his truck. Jax had driven it over from the diner. He settled her in the passenger seat. She was asleep before he finished buckling her seatbelt. He stood there for a moment, looking at her. This tiny, broken girl who'd walked into a diner on one leg and changed everything. 8 hours ago, he'd been eating a burger and reading the paper, perfectly content to be alone. Now, he was responsible for a child. A traumatized, abused, disabled child who'd been through hell and somehow survived. He had no idea what he was doing. No idea how to raise a kid. No idea how to help her heal from what had been done to her. But he knew one thing. He wasn't going to fail her. He'd failed people before. In Afghanistan. On the streets. In his own family back when he still had one. He wasn't going to fail again. Not this time. Not her. He closed the door gently and walked around to the driver's side. Brick was waiting. You know this changes everything, Brick said. I know. The club's got your back. Whatever you need. I know that too. But this is on you, Stone. She's on you. That's not something you can walk away from. I'm not walking away. Brick studied him for a long moment. Then he smiled. No, I don't think you are. He stepped back. Stone got in the truck, started the engine, pulled away from the yellow house with its dead flowers and its painted-over window and its closet where a child had been kept like an animal. He didn't look back. Maya slept the whole way. When they reached his place, a small house on 3 acres at the end of a gravel road, he carried her inside and laid her on the couch, found a blanket, tucked it around her thin shoulders. She stirred. Stone, I'm here. Where are we? My house. Your house now, if you want it. She blinked up at him, confusion and exhaustion clouding her eyes. My house. Yeah, if you want. She was quiet for a long moment. I've never had a house, she whispered. Just places I wasn't supposed to be. Stone's throat tightened. Well, you're supposed to be here. Okay, this is your place now. Nobody's going to lock you in a room. Nobody's going to take your food. Nobody's going to hurt you. Promise. Promise. And she reached out with one small hand. He took it. Will you stay? She asked. Until I fall asleep. Yeah, kid, I'll stay. You won't leave? I won't leave. She closed her eyes. Her breathing slowed. Her grip on his hand loosened, but didn't let go. Stone sat there in the dark, holding onto this child who'd been thrown away by everyone who should have protected her. And he made a silent vow. Whatever it takes. However long it takes. I'm going to give her the life she deserves. Outside, the snow kept falling. Inside, for the first time in 8 months, Maya slept without fear. Maya woke up screaming at 3 a.m. Stone was there in seconds. He found her thrashing on the couch, tangled in the blanket, her small fists swinging at something only she could see. No, please. I'll be good. I'll be good. Don't lock me in. Please. I can't breathe. I can't. Maya. He grabbed her shoulders gently. She fought him, eyes still closed, still trapped in whatever nightmare had its claws in her. Don't hurt me, please. I'll be quiet. I won't make noise. I promise. I promise. Maya, wake up. Her eyes flew open. For a moment she didn't recognize him. Terror filled her face. She scrambled backward on the couch, pressing herself against the armrest, making herself as small as possible. It's me, Stone said, keeping his voice low and steady. It's Stone. You're safe. You're at my house. Remember? She stared at him, chest heaving. Stone, yeah, kid, it's me. Her face crumpled. I thought I was back there. I thought, you're not back there. You're never going back there. She launched herself at him, wrapped her arms around his neck, sobbed into his shoulder. It was so dark. It was so dark, and I couldn't get out. And I kept banging on the door, but nobody came. Nobody ever came. Stone held her tight. I came. I'm here now. Don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I'm not leaving. Promise. Promise. She cried for a long time. He didn't try to stop her. Didn't tell her it was okay. It wasn't okay. Nothing about what had happened to her was okay. All he could do was hold on. Eventually, the sobs faded. Her breathing slowed. Her grip loosened. Stone? Yeah, I'm hungry. He almost laughed. Almost. Okay, let's get you something to eat. He carried her to the kitchen, set her on a chair at the table. Then he opened the refrigerator. It wasn't locked. He saw her notice, saw her eyes go wide. It's not locked, she whispered. No. It's never locked. Never. You can open it any time you want, day or night. If you're hungry, you eat. That's how it works here. She stared at the refrigerator like it was a miracle. Stone pulled out eggs, cheese bread, started making scrambled eggs and toast, because it was 3 in the morning and that's what you made at 3 in the morning. Maya watched his every move. Stone, yeah. What if I eat too much? What if I use up all your food? His hands stopped moving on the pan. Then I'll buy more. But what if you can't afford it? What if... Maya. He turned to face her. I'm never going to run out of food. And even if I did, I'd figure it out. You eating is not a problem. You not eating is a problem. Understand? She nodded slowly. Okay. He finished the eggs, put them on a plate with 2 pieces of buttered toast, set it in front of her. She didn't move. Go ahead, he said. It's yours. You're not eating. I'll eat later. But you made it. I made it for you. She looked down at the plate, then up at him, then back at the plate. Derek never made me food, she said quietly. He said cooking was women's work. He said I should be grateful for whatever scraps he decided to give me. Derek was wrong about a lot of things. I know, but sometimes it's hard to remember. His voice gets stuck in my head, telling me I'm bad, telling me I don't deserve things. Stone sat down across from her. You know what I think. What? I think you're one of the bravest people I've ever met. And I've met a lot of people. Soldiers, fighters, men who would run into gunfire without blinking. But you know what? Most of them had backup. Most of them had weapons. Most of them had someone watching their 6. He leaned forward. You had nothing. You had 1 leg and a monster for a guardian and a world that kept turning away. And you still fought. You still ran. You still survived. That's not bad, Maya. That's incredible. Her eyes filled with tears. You really think that... I know it. She picked up her fork. She ate. The next 3 days were a blur. Patricia from CPS came by twice. The first time she did a home inspection. Stone watched her walk through his house, checking closets, opening cabinets, looking for God knows what. It's not fancy, he said. It doesn't need to be fancy. It needs to be safe. Is it? She looked at him. Yes, it is. The second time she brought paperwork, mountains of it, emergency foster placement forms, background check authorizations, Financial disclosures. Stone signed everything. This is just temporary, Patricia explained. Emergency placement while we process a more permanent arrangement. What kind of permanent arrangement? That depends on the court, on Maya, on you. What about me? Patricia studied him. Have you thought about what you actually want here, Mr. McKenna? I want her safe. Beyond that, long-term, are you thinking foster care, guardianship, adoption? The word hung in the air. Adoption. I don't know, Stone admitted. I haven't thought that far ahead. You should, because she's going to need stability. Permanence. She's going to need to know that whoever takes care of her isn't going to change their mind. I'm not going to change my mind. You've known her for 3 days. Doesn't matter. It matters to the court. Stone leaned forward. Let me tell you something about courts. I've been in front of judges more times than I can count. For fights, for assault, for being in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong patch on my back. Every single time those judges looked at me and saw exactly what they expected to see. A criminal, a thug, a lost cause. He held Patricia's gaze. But you know what they never saw? They never saw me hold a dying soldier in my arms in Afghanistan. They never saw me pull a man out of a burning car on Route 7. They never saw me give my last $20 to a homeless kid outside a gas station because he reminded me of someone I couldn't save. He sat back. I'm not what I look like, and I'm not going to let Maya down because some judge decides to see the vest instead of the man. Patricia was quiet for a long moment. You might actually pull this off, she said finally. I'm going to do more than pull it off. I'm going to give that kid the life she deserves. I believe you. Good. Now what do I need to sign? On the 4th day, Brick came by. Stone was teaching Maya how to make pancakes. She was sitting on the counter stirring the batter, actually smiling for once. Then the motorcycle pulled up outside. Maya froze. It's okay, Stone said quickly. That's just Brick. Remember him, the man with the gray beard? Yeah. He's a friend. Is something wrong? I don't know. Let me find out. He went to the door. Brick was already on the porch. His expression was grim. We need to talk. About what? Brick glanced past him into the house. Saw Maya watching from the kitchen. Not in front of her. Stone's stomach dropped. That bad? Could be. He turned back to Maya. Hey, kid. Keep stirring that batter. I'll be right back. Where are you going? Just outside. 2 minutes. Promise. Promise? Promise. He stepped onto the porch and closed the door. Talk. When Brick pulled out his phone. Got a call from Dina this morning. Derek's lawyer is making moves. What kind of moves? Motion to dismiss. Claims the evidence was obtained illegally. Says we broke into his house without a warrant. Contaminated the crime scene. Coerced witnesses. Stone felt cold fury spreading through his chest. That's bull. Of course it is. But he's got a fancy lawyer, some hotshot from Denver who specializes in getting guilty people off on technicalities. How did he afford a lawyer like that? That's the interesting part. Brick's jaw tightened. Someone's paying for it. Someone with deep pockets. We don't know who yet. But Derek didn't have 2 nickels to rub together before this. Now suddenly he's got representation that costs more than most people make in a year. Stone's mind was racing. The insurance company. What? Think about it. Derek works for Western Life Insurance. He knows things. Secrets. Maybe he helped other people commit fraud. Maybe he's got dirt on someone important. You think they're paying his legal fees to keep him quiet? It's the only thing that makes sense. Brick nodded slowly. That's actually a good theory. I'll have our guy dig into it. How long do we have? The hearing's in 3 days. If the judge grants the motion to dismiss, he walks. Walks? Yeah, he walks. Stone's hands curled into fists. That's not happening. I know, but we need to be smart about this. We need ammunition. What kind of ammunition? More witnesses, more evidence. Something that proves Derek's pattern of behavior didn't start with Maya. Stone went still. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe this isn't his first rodeo. Maybe there are other victims, other kids, other wives who died conveniently. You think he's done this before? I think men like Derek don't wake up one day and suddenly decide to torture a child. They build up to it. They practice. They get away with small things before they try big things. Stone thought about that. About Derek's confidence, his smooth lies, his ability to fool police and social workers and everyone else who should have seen through him. He's done it before, Stone said. He has to have. Then we find proof, and we make sure that motion gets denied. How much time do we have? 3 days. Then we work fast. Brick nodded and headed back to his bike. Stone stood on the porch for a moment, watching him go. 3 days. 3 days to find evidence that might not exist. 3 days to stop a monster from walking free. He went back inside. Maya was still on the counter, still stirring the batter, but her face had changed. The smile was gone. Worry had replaced it. Something's wrong, she said. I can tell. Stone hesitated. It's nothing you need to worry about. It's about Derek, isn't it? He couldn't lie to her. Not after everything. Yeah, it's about Derek. Wait, is he getting out? No, I won't let that happen. But something's wrong. His lawyer is trying to get the case thrown out, saying the evidence isn't good enough. Maya's face went pale. But you saw my room. You saw the locks. I know, and the judge will see it too. We just need to make sure our case is stronger than his lawyer's tricks. How? Stone looked at her. Maya, I need to ask you something. And I need you to be completely honest with me. Okay. Do you know if Derek ever hurt anyone else before you? Another kid, maybe, or your mom? Maya's hand stopped stirring. He never hit my mom, not where I could see. But what? Sometimes at night I heard them fighting, and the next day Mom would move different, like she was sore, and she'd wear long sleeves even when it was hot. Stone's heart sank. Did she ever say anything? I asked her once why she was crying. She said she fell. She said Derek was helping her be more careful. Maya's voice dropped. But I knew. I knew she didn't fall. Just like I didn't fall. Did anyone else know any of her friends' family? Mom didn't have friends. Derek said friends were distractions. He said she only needed him. Maya paused. But there was a woman. She came to the house once when Derek was at work. She and Mom talked for a long time. Mom was crying. Stone leaned closer. Do you remember her name? Mom called her Sarah. She said Sarah was from before. Before Derek? I think so. She gave Mom her phone number. Told her to call if she ever needed help. Did your mom call her? Maya's eyes filled with tears. I don't know. Mom got sick right after that. And then she died. And then everything got bad. Stone reached out and took her hand. You did good, Maya. That's really helpful. Really? Really? Do you remember anything else about Sarah? What she looked like? Where she worked? She was pretty. Brown hair. She wore a blue jacket with a name on it. Maya squeezed her eyes shut, trying to remember. Providence. It said Providence something. Providence. I think it was a church or a hospital. I don't remember. That's okay. That's more than enough. Stone pulled out his phone, texted Brick. Need you to find someone. Sarah. Works at a place called Providence something. Maybe a hospital. connected to Maya's mother. Could be our key witness. The response came 30 seconds later. On it. Stone put his phone away. Maya, I need you to know something. Whatever happens with this hearing, with Derek, with any of it, you're safe here with me. No matter what some judge decides, I'm not letting you go back to him, even if I have to break every law in Colorado to make sure of it. Her lower lip trembled. You'd do that for me? Yeah, kid, I would. She slid off the counter and wrapped her arms around his waist. I don't want you to go to jail, she whispered. I don't want to lose you too. Stone knelt down to her level. You're not going to lose me, and I'm not going to jail, because we're going to win this the right way, with evidence, with witnesses, with the truth. What if the truth isn't enough? It will be. It has to be. She looked at him with those old, tired eyes. Derek always said the truth didn't matter. He said all that mattered was what you could make people believe. Derek was wrong. But what if he wasn't? What if his lawyer makes the judge believe him? Stone took her face in his hands. Then we'll find another way. And another, until we win. Because that's what we do, Maya. We don't give up, not ever. She stared at him for a long moment. Then she nodded. Okay. I trust you. 3 words. That's all it took to break Stone's heart and rebuild it at the same time. Good, he said, his voice rough. Now let's make those pancakes before the batter goes bad. She almost smiled. Can we put chocolate chips in them? Kid, we can put whatever you want in them. This time she did smile. Small, fragile, but real. His phone buzzed. A text from Brick. Found her. Sarah Chen, social worker at Providence Hospital. She filed a domestic violence report about Maya's mother 6 months before she died. Report was buried. Never investigated. Stone read it twice, then a 3rd time. Who buried it? Brick's response came fast. Working on it. But Stone, you're not going to like the answer. Tell me anyway. A pause. Then, the report was assigned to a CPS caseworker named Thomas Reed, same guy who closed the investigation after the neighbors' calls about Maya. Same guy who signed off on Derek's home as safe. Stone's blood ran cold. Are you saying what I think you're saying? Yeah. Someone on the inside has been covering for Derek for at least a year. Maybe longer. This goes deeper than we thought. Stone looked at Maya, happily dropping chocolate chips into the pancake batter, counting them out loud. 7, 8, 9. She had no idea. No idea that the system meant to protect her had been working against her all along. No idea that Derek had help. But Stone knew now, and he was going to burn it all down. Stone found Sarah Chen at Providence Hospital the next morning. She was coming out of the staff entrance, coffee in one hand, phone in the other. When he stepped into her path, she froze. Sarah Chen? She looked up, took in the leather vest, the scars, the tattoos. Her face went pale. Who are you? My name is Stone. I need to talk to you about Lisa Manning. The coffee cup slipped from her hand. It hit the ground. Brown liquid splashed across the concrete. Sarah didn't notice. How do you know that name? Her daughter told me. Maya, Sarah's voice cracked. You know Maya, is she okay? I've been trying to find her for months. After Lisa died, Derek shut everyone out. He changed his number. I went to the house 3 times and he threatened to call the police if I came back. She's with me. With you. Why, what happened? Stone didn't have time to sugarcoat it. Derek's been abusing her, starving her, locking her in a closet. He took out a life insurance policy. He was planning to kill her. Sarah's hand went to her mouth. Oh God. Oh God, I knew it. I knew something was wrong. I filed a report 6 months before Lisa died. I told them exactly what was happening. I know. The report was buried. What? A CPS caseworker named Thomas Reed. He made it disappear. Sarah's eyes went wide. Reed? That's impossible. He's the one who… She stopped. Her face changed. He's the one who told me the investigation was closed. He said Lisa recanted. Said she made the whole thing up. I didn't believe him, but what could I do? The case was closed. Lisa never recanted, did she? No. I talked to her the day before Reed said she did. She was terrified. She was making plans to leave. She had a bag packed under her bed. Stone felt his jaw tighten. What happened? 2 days later, she was in the hospital. Some kind of accident. Derek said she fell down the stairs. But I saw her, Stone. I saw the bruises. They weren't from falling. Did you tell anyone? I told Reed. I demanded he reopen the case. He said there was no evidence. Said Lisa was clumsy. Said I was being hysterical. And then Lisa got sick. The cancer diagnosis came out of nowhere. Stage 4. She was dead in 3 months. Stone's mind was racing. That's fast. Too fast. I'm a social worker, not a doctor. But I've seen a lot of cases. Cancer doesn't usually work that way. Not unless it's been growing for a long time. Lisa had a physical 6 months before she died. Nothing showed up. You think he did something? It wasn't a question. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. I don't know. I can't prove anything. But the timing. Lisa starts making plans to leave. Suddenly she falls down the stairs. Suddenly she has cancer. Suddenly she's dead. And Derek has full custody of her daughter and a $300,000 life insurance policy. Sarah went still. What? Derek took out policies on both of them, Lisa and Maya. Lisa's paid out after she died. Maya's is still active. Oh my God. Yeah. Sarah was trembling now. I tried to save her. I tried to save them both. But nobody listened. Nobody believed me. And now we have another chance. She looked up at him. What do you mean? Derek's lawyer is trying to get the case dismissed. Claims the evidence was obtained illegally. The hearing is in 2 days. 2 days. I need you to testify about the report you filed, about what Lisa told you, about Reed burying the case, all of it. Sarah's face went white. Stone, I could lose my job. If I accuse a CPS caseworker of covering up abuse, I'll never work in social services again. If you don't, Derek walks, and the next kid he gets his hands on won't be as lucky as Maya. She flinched. That's not fair. None of this is fair. A 6-year-old girl lost her mother, lost her leg, and spent 8 months being tortured by a man who was supposed to protect her. Fair went out the window a long time ago. Sarah closed her eyes. You don't understand. I have a family. I have kids of my own. If I lose my job, if you don't testify, you lose something worse. What? Yourself. The person you were when you filed that report. The person who saw something wrong and tried to stop it. That person doesn't walk away because it's hard. Sarah was quiet for a long moment. Then she opened her eyes. Where do I need to be? Stone handed her a card. County Courthouse, 9 a.m. Day after tomorrow. Ask for Ada Martinez. She's handling the prosecution. Martinez, okay. Sarah took the card with shaking hands. Stone, yeah. Take care of her. Maya, she deserves better than what she got. I know. That's what I'm trying to give her. He turned to leave. Stone. He stopped. There's something else. Something I didn't put in the report. He turned back. Sarah's voice dropped. A week before Lisa fell down the stairs, she called me. Late at night. She was crying. She said Derek had been acting strange, spending a lot of time in the garage, buying things off the internet and hiding them. What kind of things? She didn't know. But she found a receipt for something called, I can't remember exactly, thallium something. Stone's blood ran cold. Thallium sulfate? Maybe. Why, what is that? Stone didn't answer. He was already pulling out his phone. Thallium sulfate. A poison. Odorless, tasteless, nearly undetectable. It caused symptoms that looked like cancer, hair loss, nausea, organ failure. Lisa Manning hadn't died of cancer. She'd been murdered. And Stone was going to prove it. He called Brick. I need a favor. Name it. Lisa Manning. Maya's mother. She died 8 months ago. Officially, it was cancer. But I think Derek poisoned her. Silence on the other end. Then, what do you need? Medical records, toxicology reports if there are any, and find out if the body was cremated or buried. You thinking exhumation? I'm thinking we need to know what actually killed her. That's going to take time. And lawyers, and a judge willing to sign off on digging up a corpse. We have 2 days. Stone, 2 days Brick. That's all we have. If we don't find something solid, Derek walks, and Maya goes back to a system that's already failed her twice. Another pause. I'll make some calls. But Stone, you need to prepare yourself. We might not find anything. I know. And even if we do, it might not be enough. It has to be. He hung up. Then he drove back to his house. Maya was waiting on the porch. Tommy was with her, watching her draw pictures with some crayons one of the brothers' wives had dropped off. When Stone pulled up, she jumped off the swing and hobbled toward him on her crutches. You were gone a long time. I know, I'm sorry. Did you find her, the woman named Sarah? Stone hesitated. Yeah, I found her. Is she going to help? Yeah, she's going to help. Maya's face lit up. So Derek is going to stay in jail. That's the plan. Promise. Stone knelt down to her level. Maya, I need to ask you something, and I need you to tell me the truth, even if it's hard. Okay. Before your mom got sick, was she acting normal, or was something wrong? Maya's face clouded. She was tired all the time. She said it was stress, but she kept getting more tired, and her hair started falling out. Did she see a doctor? Derek wouldn't let her. He said doctors were too expensive. He said she just needed rest. But she didn't get better. No, she got worse. And then one day she couldn't get out of bed. Derek finally took her to the hospital. They said it was cancer. They said she should have come sooner. Stone felt sick. Maya, did Derek ever give your mom anything, drinks, food, medicine? She thought about it. He made her tea every night. He said it would help her sleep. Mom said it tasted funny, but Derek got mad when she didn't drink it. How long did he make her tea? I don't know, a few months. It started after she packed the bag under the bed. Stone's hands curled into fists. A few months. That was long enough. Long enough to slowly poison someone. Long enough to make it look like natural illness. Long enough to kill a woman while pretending to care for her. Maya, you just helped a lot. I did. Yeah, more than you know. He stood up and looked at Tommy. Stay with her. I have calls to make. What's going on? I think Derek murdered Maya's mother, and I'm going to prove it. The courthouse was packed. Stone arrived at 8:30 with Maya holding his hand. She was wearing a new dress that Marie from the diner had bought her. Purple, her favorite color. Her hair was brushed and braided, courtesy of Tommy's wife. She looked like a normal kid. But her grip on Stone's hand was anything but normal. Tight. Desperate. Like she was afraid he'd disappear if she let go. "I'm scared," she whispered. "I know, but I'm right here. What if the judge believes Derek? He won't. But what if he does?" Stone knelt down to her level. "Maya, look at me." She looked. "Whatever happens in that courtroom today, you're not going back to him. I don't care what any judge says. I don't care what any lawyer argues. You're my daughter now, and nobody takes you from me. Understand?" Her eyes filled with tears. "I understand." "Good. Now let's go show them what the truth looks like." They walked into the courthouse together. Brick was waiting in the lobby with 6 other brothers, all of them in leather vests, all of them looking like they'd walked out of a nightmare. The security guards at the metal detector exchanged nervous glances. "We're here as observers," Brick said calmly. "No weapons, no trouble, just observers." The guards didn't argue. They passed through security and headed for courtroom 4B. Ada Martinez was already inside, spreading papers across her table. She looked up when Stone entered. "We got them," she said quietly. "The blood samples came back this morning. Thallium poisoning. Lisa Manning didn't die of cancer. She was murdered." Stone felt something loosen in his chest. "Derek, we're adding murder charges, 1st degree, along with the attempted murder of Maya, the abuse, the fraud. He's going away, Stone, for the rest of his life." "Does he know?" "Not yet. His lawyer thinks this is still just a dismissal hearing." Martinez smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "He's about to have a very bad day." The courtroom filled up. Sarah Chen arrived. Looking nervous but determined, she took a seat behind the prosecution table. The neighbors from Maple Street came too. Mrs. Patterson with her folder of photographs. Mr. Reeves with his statement about the truck backing up. 2 other women Stone didn't recognize. And then the door at the back opened. Derek walked in. He was wearing a suit, hair combed, face clean-shaven, looking every inch the respectable citizen. His eyes swept the courtroom. They landed on Maya. He smiled. Maya whimpered and pressed closer to Stone. "Don't look at him," Stone murmured. "He can't touch you. He's looking at me like he's going to kill me. He's never going to get the chance." Derek took his seat at the defense table. His lawyer, a slick man in a designer suit, leaned over and whispered something. Derek nodded, still smiling, confident. He had no idea what was coming. "All rise," the bailiff announced. "The Honorable Judge Rebecca Torres presiding." Everyone stood. Judge Torres entered. Mid-50s, steel gray hair, eyes that had seen every lie ever told in a courtroom. She sat down. "Be seated." Everyone sat. "This is case number 2024 CF 4471, State of Colorado versus Derek Manning. We're here on the defense's motion to dismiss. Mr. Hartley, you may proceed." Derek's lawyer stood up. "Your Honor, my client has been the victim of a coordinated campaign of harassment and defamation. The so-called evidence in this case was obtained through illegal means by individuals with criminal records who broke into my client's home without a warrant. The primary witness is a 6-year-old child who has been coached by these same individuals to fabricate stories of abuse." From Stone's hands curled into fists, Brick put a hand on his shoulder. "Easy." "Furthermore," Hartley continued, "my client was physically assaulted by one of these individuals. He has witnesses who will testify to this assault. We ask that all charges be dismissed and that Mr. McKenna be charged with battery." Judge Torres looked unimpressed. "Is that all?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Ms. Martinez." Martinez stood up slowly. Your Honor, I'd like to respond to the defense's claims with some new evidence that has come to light. Hartley's smile flickered. Objection. This is a dismissal hearing, not a trial. New evidence should be, I'll allow it, Judge Torres said. Proceed, Ms. Martinez. Martinez picked up a folder. Your Honor, this morning I received the results of a toxicology analysis performed on blood samples taken from Lisa Manning 8 months ago during her hospitalization. Lisa Manning was Derek Manning's wife and the biological mother of Maya Manning. She handed a copy to the judge and another to Hartley. The analysis revealed lethal levels of thallium sulfate in Mrs. Manning's blood. Thallium is a poison that mimics the symptoms of cancer: hair loss, nausea, organ failure. Martinez paused. Mrs. Manning didn't die of cancer, Your Honor. She was murdered. The courtroom erupted. Derek's face went white. Hartley was on his feet. Objection. This is outrageous. This evidence was obtained without The samples were obtained legally, Martinez cut in. They were stored at Providence Hospital as part of standard cancer treatment protocol. I obtained a warrant yesterday afternoon. Judge Torres banged her gavel. Order, I will have order in this courtroom. The noise subsided. Torres looked at the toxicology report for a long moment. Then she looked at Derek. Mr. Manning, do you understand the implications of this evidence? Derek was shaking. Your Honor, I had nothing to do with this as a mistake. Someone's framing me. A mistake, Torres repeated. Let's see what else might be a mistake. She nodded at Martinez. Your Honor, I'd like to call Sarah Chen to the stand. Sarah walked forward. Her hands were trembling, but her voice was steady as she took the oath. Martinez approached her. Ms. Chen, what is your profession? I'm a social worker at Providence Hospital. And did you know Lisa Manning? Yes, she was my friend. We grew up together. Can you describe the last time you saw her? Sarah's voice wavered. It was about 2 weeks before she was hospitalized. She called me, crying. She said Derek had been acting strange. She said she was scared. She said she'd found a receipt for something she didn't understand. What kind of receipt? A chemical. She didn't know what it was for, but she said Derek had been making her tea every night. Tea that tasted strange. She said she didn't want to drink it, but he got angry when she refused. Martinez held up a photograph. Ms. Chen, do you recognize this? Sarah looked at it. Her face paled. That's thallium sulfate. That's what the receipt was for. And what happened after Lisa told you this? I filed a report with CPS. I documented everything she told me. Dates, times, symptoms. I begged them to investigate. And did they? Sarah's jaw tightened. The case was assigned to a worker named Thomas Reed. He told me the investigation was closed. He said Lisa had recanted. Had she? No. I spoke to her the day before Reed said she recanted. She was more afraid than ever. She was planning to leave. And then she fell down the stairs. Martinez turned to the judge. Your Honor, we have evidence that Thomas Reed, a CPS caseworker, has been systematically covering up reports of abuse involving Derek Manning. Reed closed 2 separate investigations into the Manning household. He also signed off on a home inspection that failed to note a padlocked refrigerator-locked cabinets and a room with a deadbolt on the outside of the door. Torres's expression hardened. Where is Mr. Reed now? In federal custody. He was arrested this morning on charges of obstruction of justice and conspiracy. Another wave of murmurs through the courtroom. Derek was sweating now. His confident smile had vanished completely. Hartley was frantically scribbling notes, his face the color of old cheese. Martinez turned back to Sarah. One more question, Ms. Chen. In your professional opinion, what was Derek Manning's intention toward his wife? Sarah looked directly at Derek. He wanted her dead. He poisoned her slowly so no one would suspect. He isolated her from friends and family. He made sure there were no witnesses. And when she tried to leave, he escalated. And what about Maya? What was his intention toward her? The same thing. He ran over her with his truck to cripple her. He starved her to weaken her. He was waiting for the right moment to finish what he started. Thank you, Ms. Chen. No further questions. Torres looked at Hartley. Does the defense wish to cross-examine? Hartley stood up slowly. He looked at Derek. Derek looked at him. Something passed between them. No, Your Honor. No questions. He sat back down. Torres nodded. Ms. Martinez, call your next witness. The people call Maya Manning. Stone felt Maya's hand tighten on his. I have to, she whispered. You're the bravest person I know, he whispered back. You can do this. She stood up. She picked up her crutches. She made her way to the witness stand. Tap, scrape, tap, scrape. The whole courtroom watched. Derek watched. His eyes followed her every movement. Maya didn't look at him. She looked at Stone. He nodded. I'm here. You've got this. She sat down in the witness chair. The bailiff approached with a Bible. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Maya's voice was small but clear. I do. Martinez approached gently. Maya, I know this is scary. I just need you to answer a few questions. Can you do that? Yes. Can you tell the court who you lived with before you came to stay with Mr. McKenna? My stepdad, Derek. And how did Derek treat you? Maya's hands twisted in her lap. He was mean. He hit me. He locked me in a room with no windows. He didn't let me eat. How long did this go on? Since my mom died. 8 months. Did you ever tell anyone what was happening? I tried. I told a teacher. She didn't believe me. I told a counselor. She said I was making things up. I told a policeman who came to our house. He believed Derek. Why do you think they believed Derek instead of you? Because I'm just a kid. And Derek is good at lying. He knows how to make people believe him. Martinez nodded. Maya, do you remember the accident that injured your leg? Maya's face went pale. Yes. Can you tell us what happened? She was quiet for a moment. Then, I was playing in the driveway. I wasn't supposed to, but Derek was inside watching TV and I thought he wouldn't notice. I was drawing with chalk. And then what happened? I heard the truck start. Derek got in. I tried to run, but I wasn't fast enough. The truck came backward. It hit me. Did you see Derek in the truck? Yes. He was looking at me through the mirror. He saw me, and he didn't stop. The courtroom was dead silent. He saw you, Martinez repeated, and he didn't stop. No, he kept coming, and then everything hurt, and I was screaming, and there was so much blood, and I couldn't feel my leg anymore. Her voice broke. Stone stood up. Your Honor, can we take a break? She needs... I'm okay, Maya said, her voice stronger now. I want to finish. I want to tell them everything. And Torres looked at her with something like respect. Take your time, sweetheart. Maya wiped her eyes. After the hospital, Derek moved me to the storage room. He put a lock on the door, on the outside, so I couldn't get out. He locked the refrigerator and the cabinets so I couldn't eat. He said I was too expensive. He said I cost too much money. Did he ever explain why he was doing this? I heard him on the phone one night, when he thought I was asleep. He was laughing. He said he'd taken out insurance. He said I was worth more dead than alive. He said he just needed to wait for the right time. Martinez looked at the judge. No further questions, Your Honor. Torres looked at Hartley. Defense. Hartley stood up slowly. He looked at Maya. For a long moment he didn't say anything. Then, no questions, Your Honor. He sat down. Torres nodded. The witness may step down. Maya picked up her crutches and made her way back to Stone. He caught her in his arms and held her tight. You did amazing, he whispered. I'm so proud of you. She buried her face in his shoulder. Is it over? Almost. Torres folded her hands. Based on the evidence presented today, the defense's motion to dismiss is denied. Derek made a sound. A choked, desperate noise. Furthermore, Torres continued, I'm adding charges of first-degree murder in the death of Lisa Manning. Mr. Manning, you are remanded to custody without bail pending trial. Two bailiffs moved toward Derek. He stood up so fast his chair fell over. This is wrong. This is all lies. That little girl is lying about everything. I never touched her. Mr. Manning. Torres's voice was ice. One more outburst and I'll add contempt charges. Derek's lawyer grabbed his arm. Derek, stop. You're making it worse. Making it worse? My life is over because of her. Because of that crippled little Mr. Manning. The bailiffs reached him. They grabbed his arms. They started to pull him toward the side door. Derek fought them. This isn't over, he screamed. You hear me? This isn't over. I'll get out. I'll find you. I'll finish what I... The door slammed shut behind him. His screaming faded into the distance. The courtroom was silent. Torres took a breath. Ms. Martinez, I commend you and your team for the thorough investigation. This case has exposed serious failures in our child protective services system. I will be recommending a full review. Thank you, Your Honor. Torres looked at Stone. Mr. McKenna. Stone stood up. Your Honor, I understand you have applied for guardianship of Maya Manning. Yes, ma'am. I've reviewed your file. You have a criminal record. Yes, ma'am. Nothing in the last 10 years. You're a member of a motorcycle club that law enforcement considers a criminal organization. Yes, ma'am. But we're also the ones who saved this little girl when the system failed her. Torres was quiet for a moment. Then she almost smiled. Yes, you are. She looked at Maya. Sweetie, do you want to live with Mr. McKenna? Maya nodded. More than anything. Why? Because he's my dad. He saved me. He believed me when nobody else did. He makes me breakfast and tucks me in at night. And he never locks any doors. Her voice cracked. He's the only person who ever treated me like I mattered. Torres's eyes glistened. I'm going to fast-track the guardianship process. Given the exceptional circumstances, I see no reason to delay. Mr. McKenna, congratulations. You're going to be a father. Stone couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Maya turned to look at him. Her face split into a smile bigger than any he'd ever seen. Did you hear that? You're my dad. For real. It's official. He grabbed her and hugged her so tight she squeaked. Yeah, kid, he managed. I heard. The courtroom erupted in applause. Brick was on his feet, clapping. The brothers joined in. Sarah Chen was crying. Martinez was smiling. Even the security guards by the door were applauding. Judge Torres banged her gavel, but she was smiling too. Court is adjourned. Stone carried Maya out of the courtroom. The brothers surrounded them in the hallway, slapping Stone's back, ruffling Maya's hair, telling her how brave she was, how proud they were, how she was family now. She looked up at Stone with tears streaming down her face. Is it really over? Yeah, kid, it's really over. He's never coming back. He's going to prison for the rest of his life. He's never getting near you again. She wrapped her arms around his neck. I love you, Dad. Stone's heart stopped, then started again. I love you too, Maya. Brick appeared at his shoulder. That went better than expected. She's a good judge. Dina knows how to pick them. Brick looked at Maya. Hey, little one. You did good in there. Real good. She didn't respond. Her eyes were starting to close. She's exhausted, Stone said. Take her home. We'll handle the cleanup. What cleanup? Reed, the insurance company. Whoever was paying Derek's lawyer. This goes deeper than one monster Stone. We're going to find everyone who helped him, and we're going to make sure they pay. Stone nodded. Keep me posted. Always. Stone carried Maya to his truck, settled her in the passenger seat. She was asleep before he finished buckling her seatbelt. He stood there for a moment, looking at her. His daughter. Legally. Officially. Forever. He'd walked into that diner 5 days ago with nothing but a burger and a bad attitude. Now he had a family. Life was strange that way. He closed the door gently and walked around to the driver's side. The sun was setting over the mountains. Orange and pink and gold. Stone got in the truck, started the engine, pulled out of the courthouse parking lot. Maya stirred. Dad, yeah. We're going home. Yeah, kid, we're going home. She smiled in her sleep. And Stone drove toward the sunset, toward the little house at the end of the gravel road, toward the life they were going to build together. Whatever came next, they'd face it. Together. 6 months passed. Maya woke up on a Saturday morning to the smell of bacon. She lay there for a moment, still not used to it, still not used to waking up without fear, still not used to the sunlight streaming through windows that weren't painted black. She reached for her crutches, then stopped. Today was different. Today she had something new. She swung her legs over the side of the bed. Both of them. One flesh, one titanium, and carbon fiber. The prosthetic had arrived 3 weeks ago. The club had raised the money. Every brother had contributed. Tommy's wife had organized a charity ride that brought in more than anyone expected. The whole community had come together for one little black girl who'd been thrown away. Maya stood up, wobbled, caught herself on the nightstand. You okay up there? Stone's voice called from downstairs. I'm fine. She took a step, then another, then another. It still felt strange, the weight of it, the way it moved. But the physical therapist said she was making incredible progress, said most kids took months to walk without support. Maya had done it in 3 weeks. She made her way to the stairs, gripped the railing, took them one at a time. Stone was waiting at the bottom, watching her, ready to catch her if she fell. He was always ready to catch her. Look at you, he said, his voice rough with emotion. Walking like a pro. I'm not a pro yet. You're getting there. She reached the bottom step, stood in front of him, looked up. Dad, yeah. I had a dream last night. Good or bad? Good. I dreamed about Mom. She was smiling. She said she was proud of me. She said thank you. Stone's throat tightened. For what? For being brave. For finding you. For not giving up. She leaned against his side. I think she sent you to me. I think she knew I needed someone. And she sent you. Stone put his arm around her. Maybe she did. Do you believe that people can watch over us after they're gone? I don't know. But I know your mom loved you. And I think love like that doesn't just disappear. Maya was quiet for a moment. I'm not scared anymore, she said. For the first time since Mom died, I'm not scared. Good. I know bad things can still happen. I know the world isn't always safe, but I also know that no matter what happens, you'll be there, and the brothers, and everyone who helped us. She looked up at him. That's what family means, right? People who show up. People who fight for you. Yeah, Stone said. That's exactly what it means. A rumble in the distance. Motorcycles. Maya's face lit up. They're here! She grabbed Stone's hand and pulled him toward the door. Today was her birthday. Her real birthday this time. 7 years old. The brothers had planned a party, cake and presents, and a whole afternoon of celebration. Brick's truck came up the gravel road, followed by a dozen bikes, then 24, then more. Maya watched them approach, her face glowing. They all came, she whispered. Every single one of them. Of course they did. Your family. She smiled, that smile that had been so rare and fragile in the diner that first night. Now it came easy. Now it lit up her whole face. I have a family, she said. A real family. Yeah, kid, you do. Brick's truck pulled up. He got out carrying a massive purple cake. Happy birthday, little one! The brothers parked their bikes and surrounded her, singing happy birthday off-key and loud enough to be heard 3 counties over. Maya laughed. Real laughter. The kind that came from deep in her chest. The kind that meant joy and safety and belonging. Marie from the diner was there. And Patricia from CPS. And Sarah Chen, who had become a regular visitor. Even Ada Martinez had come bringing a teddy bear almost as big as Maya. Speech, someone yelled. Birthday girl has to make a speech. Maya looked around at all the faces. All the people who had shown up for her. All the people who had fought for her when no one else would. She took a breath. I don't know how to make speeches, she said. But I know how to say thank you. So, thank you. All of you. 6 months ago, I walked into a diner on one leg because I was running away from a monster. Nobody would help me. Nobody would even let me sit down. Her voice wavered. And then I found Stone. And he said yes. That's all it took. One person saying yes. And everything changed. She looked at Stone. He gave me a home. He gave me a family. He gave me my leg back. She lifted her prosthetic, wiggled it. Well, not my real leg, but close enough. Everyone laughed. Derek used to tell me I was worthless, that nobody would ever want me, that I was just a burden. But he was wrong. About everything. She stood up straighter. I'm not worthless. I'm not a burden. I'm Maya McKenna, and I have the best dad in the whole world. Stone's eyes burned. Maya looked back at the crowd. So thank you. For showing me that good people exist. For showing me that family isn't just about blood. For showing me that sometimes the scariest-looking people have the biggest hearts. She grinned at Brick. Even if they look like they eat children for breakfast. Brick burst out laughing. I only eat children on Tuesdays. Everyone roared. Maya raised her cup of lemonade. To family. To family, everyone echoed. The party went on for hours. Cake was eaten, presents were opened, stories were told. Maya played with the other kids, brothers' children, who had become her friends. Her real friends. Kids who didn't care about her missing leg, or her dark skin, or her past. Stone watched from the porch. Brick came and stood beside him. Hell of a thing, Brick said. Yeah. 6 months ago she was sleeping on a mattress in a closet. Now look at her. Maya was laughing. Running. Actually running on her new leg. Chasing Tommy's son around the yard. She's going to be okay, Brick said. Yeah, she is. What about you? Stone looked at him. What about me? You've changed too, brother. The guys have noticed. Hell, everyone's noticed. You smile now, you laugh. You actually showed up to the last 3 club meetings sober. I've always been sober. You know what I mean. You're present. You're here. Not just going through the motions. Stone was quiet for a moment. She saved me, he said finally. I thought I was saving her. But she saved me. How so? I spent 20 years angry at the world, angry at what I'd seen in Afghanistan, angry at what I'd lost, angry at everything. I didn't think I deserved anything good. Thought I was just marking time until something finally took me out. He looked at Maya. Then she walked into that diner. And everything changed. She needed you. Yeah, but I needed her too. Needed something to fight for. Something to live for. Something that mattered. Brick nodded slowly. That's what kids do. They make you better. Even when they're broken. Especially when they're broken. She's not broken anymore. No, she's not. Neither are you. Stone's phone buzzed. He pulled it out. Read the message. His face went hard. What is it? Brick asked. Martinez. Derek's trial date is set. 2 weeks. Good, let him rot. She wants Maya to testify again. Brick frowned. Again, hasn't that kid been through enough? The defense is claiming her earlier testimony was coerced. They want her to repeat it, under cross-examination this time. That's bull. I know, but Martinez says it's the only way to guarantee conviction. Without Maya's testimony, the defense might be able to create reasonable doubt. Stone put his phone away. I have to tell her. Now today it's her birthday. She deserves to know, and she deserves to choose. Stone walked across the yard. Maya saw him coming. Her smile flickered when she saw his face. What's wrong? Can we talk for a minute, just you and me? She nodded, followed him to the edge of the property, away from the party. Dad, you're scaring me. It's nothing bad, I promise, but I need to tell you something. Okay? Derek's trial is in 2 weeks. Maya's face went pale, but she didn't flinch, didn't look away. Okay. The prosecutor wants you to testify again. Again. But I know. But his lawyers are saying your first testimony was coached. They want you to repeat everything, and this time they get to ask you questions too. Maya was quiet for a long moment. What kind of questions? Hard ones. They'll try to confuse you, make you doubt yourself, make the jury doubt you. Can I say no? Yes, you can absolutely say no. Martinez said she can try to get a conviction without you. It'll be harder, but no. Stone blinked. No, I'll do it. Maya, you don't have to. I don't want you to go through that again. You've already been through so much. I know, but if I don't testify, he might get away with it, right? There's a chance. Then I have to do it. Not just for me. For Mom. For anyone else he might hurt if he gets out. She looked up at Stone. Her eyes were old. Too old for 7. You taught me that, Dad. You taught me that we don't give up, that we fight for what's right, even when it's hard. Even when it's scary. Stone's throat tightened. When did you get so brave? I've always been brave. I just didn't know it until you showed me. He knelt down, took her hands in his. You know I'll be right there, the whole time. You won't be alone. I know. And if it gets too hard, if you need to stop, we stop. No questions asked. I know that too. I love you, Maya. I love you too, Dad. She hugged him. Tight, fierce, like she was holding on to everything good in the world. Dad, yeah, can we go back to the party now? I think Brick is about to arm wrestle Tommy, and I want to see Tommy lose." Stone laughed. "Yeah, kid. Let's go watch Tommy lose." They walked back to the party together. 2 weeks later, Maya walked into the courthouse. This time she wasn't on crutches. She walked on her own 2 feet. One flesh, one titanium. Stone was beside her. Brick behind her. The whole club lined the hallway. The family of 5 from the diner was there too. Stone had invited them personally. Made them come. "I want them to see," he'd told Brick. "I want them to see what they almost let die." Derek was already at the defense table when they entered. He looked worse than before. Thinner. Paler. 6 months in county lockup had aged him. His eyes found Maya. This time there was no smile. Just hate. Maya looked right back at him. Didn't flinch. Didn't look away. Then she turned and took her seat behind the prosecution. The trial lasted 3 days. Witness after witness. Evidence after evidence. The toxicology reports. The photos of Maya's room. The insurance documents. The browser searches. Derek's lawyer tried everything. Objected to everything. Suggested alternative theories. Pointed fingers at everyone except his client. It didn't matter. The truth was too strong. Too solid. Too real. On the second day, Sarah Chen testified about Lisa Manning. About the report she filed. About Thomas Reed burying it. "I tried to save her," Sarah said. Tears streaming down her face. "I tried to save them both. But the system failed them. I failed them." Martinez approached her gently. "You didn't fail them, Ms. Chen. You're here now. You're fighting for them now. That's what matters." On the third day, Maya took the stand. Derek's lawyer approached her. Tall, slick, predatory. "Maya, isn't it true that Mr. McKenna, the biker who you now live with, coached you on what to say no? Isn't it true that he told you what to tell the police? No. Isn't it true that you made up these stories to get attention? No. Isn't it true that you fell behind that truck, that it was an accident?" Maya looked at him. Steady. Calm. "Have you ever been run over by a truck?" The lawyer blinked. "Excuse me. Have you ever been run over by a truck? Have you ever had your leg crushed while someone watched? Have you ever woken up in a hospital and been told that part of your body is gone forever?" Her voice was rising now. "Have you ever been locked in a closet for 3 days without food? Have you ever had to use a corner as a bathroom because no one would let you out? Have you ever heard someone you're supposed to trust talk about how much money they'll get when you're dead?" Silence in the courtroom. "I didn't make up anything. I didn't have to. The truth is bad enough." She looked at Derek. "He killed my mother. He took my leg. He tried to kill me. And I'm not going to let him get away with it. Not because someone told me what to say, because I was there. I lived it. And I remember everything." The lawyer had no more questions. The jury deliberated for 2 hours. Guilty on all counts. Murder in the first degree. Attempted murder. Child abuse. Insurance fraud. False imprisonment. Derek collapsed when the verdict was read. Started screaming about appeals. About conspiracies. About how everyone was against him. The bailiffs dragged him out. Maya watched him go. Her face was calm. Peaceful. Stone put his arm around her. "How do you feel?" "Free," she said. "I feel free." Later that night, they sat on the porch of Stone's house. Their house. Watching the stars come out. "Dad, yeah, what happens now? Now we live. We get up in the morning. We eat breakfast. You go to school. I go to work. We have dinner together. We watch movies on Friday nights. We be a family. That sounds boring. Boring is good. Boring is safe. Boring is exactly what you deserve. Maya leaned against his shoulder. Dad, yeah. Thank you. For everything. For saying yes when everyone else said no. For believing me. For fighting for me. For being my dad. Stone's eyes burned. Thank you for letting me. I didn't have much choice. You're pretty stubborn. He laughed. I learned it from you. They sat there in the darkness, father and daughter. Broken pieces that had somehow found each other and made something whole. Dad, yeah, I'm glad I walked into that diner. Me too, kid, me too. Somewhere in the distance a motorcycle rumbled, then another, then a dozen more. The brothers were heading home after a long ride, the sound of their engines like a heartbeat, like a promise. Family wasn't blood. Family was choice. Family was showing up. Family was saying yes when the whole world said no. Maya had learned that in a crowded diner on a cold Saturday night, when everyone turned away, when everyone rejected her, when she had nothing left but one leg and a desperate hope. And one man had said yes. That's all it took. One person, one moment, one choice. Some people are born into families. Others find them along the way, and sometimes on a cold night in a crowded diner, family finds you. All you have to do is say yes. Stone looked down at Maya. Her eyes were closing, a smile on her face. Come on, kid. Time for bed. Carry me. Always. He lifted her in his arms. She weighed more now. Healthy weight, strong weight. She wrapped her arms around his neck. I love you, Dad. I love you too, Maya. Forever. He carried her inside. To her room. Her real room, with windows that weren't painted black, and a door that locked from the inside. He tucked her in, kissed her forehead. Good night, kid. Good night, Dad. He turned off the light. Started to leave. Dad, yeah, leave the door open, just a little. Always. He left the door cracked. Just enough for light to come through. Just enough so she'd never feel trapped again. Stone walked back to the porch, sat down in his chair, looked up at the stars. 20 years ago, he'd been a soldier with nothing to lose. 10 years ago, he'd been a biker with nothing to live for. 1 year ago, he'd been a man eating alone in a diner waiting for something he couldn't name. Now he was a father. Now he had everything. The screen door creaked. Brick stepped out, handed him a beer. She asleep, yeah. Good day? The best. And they sat in silence for a while. Brothers. Not by blood. By choice. You know, Brick said finally, when you first brought her to me, I thought you'd lost your mind. Taking on a traumatized kid. Risking everything for a stranger. She wasn't a stranger. No, she was family. I just didn't know it yet. Brick nodded. That's the thing about family. You don't always recognize it at first. Sometimes it shows up in the last place you'd expect, looking like the last thing you'd want. And it changes everything. Stone took a sip of his beer. She changed everything. No, brother. You changed everything. You said yes. That's all it took. One yes. Stone looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, Lisa Manning was watching. He was sure of it. Watching over her daughter. Watching over the man who had saved her. Thank you, he thought, for sending her to me. I'll take care of her. I promise. A shooting star streaked across the sky. Stone smiled. Message received. Inside the house, Maya slept. Safe. Loved. Home. Outside, the night was quiet. Peaceful. Full of possibility. And somewhere in Colorado, a little black girl, who had once been thrown away by everyone, was dreaming of tomorrow. Because tomorrow she would wake up to the smell of bacon. She would walk downstairs on 2 legs. She would eat breakfast with her father. She would go to school with her friends. She would live the life she deserved. Not because she was lucky. Because one person had said yes. That's the power of yes. It can save a life. It can build a family. It can change the world. One person. One moment. One choice. If this story moved, you remember it. Remember that somewhere right now a child is waiting for someone to say yes. A child is hoping. A child is praying. Be that person. Say yes. Because sometimes the scariest looking person in the room has the biggest heart. Sometimes the most broken person has the most love to give. Sometimes the people everyone else rejects are the ones who matter most. Maya McKenna learned that in a diner on a cold Saturday night. Stone McKenna learned it too. And now so have you. Family is a choice. Love is a choice. Kindness is a choice. Choose wisely. Choose yes.